Welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, Victor Rabei. How you doing, Vic?
Good, my man. How are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. Fight season's back open and everyone's ready to go. What's happening with you?
Training every day, twice, 3 times a day, hoping to get some fights. I've had misfortune of a few fights not going ahead in the past couple of months, which was frustrating and hard because you're training obviously every day and you want to see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not coming yet. But listen, it's all good. I love training. We're in the gym with Steve. I've great lads around me. We're all motivated. We all have fights happening, so we're motivating each other and pushing each other on every day.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? It's those people that do will you on and keep you in the sport, because it would be so easy to lose your mind, wouldn't it?
Listen, boxing is a self-centered sport. Like, there's only one person going into that ring and fighting. But in O'Rourke's gym, it's the best. It's a family. You know, Ryan's fighting in a couple of weeks. We're all there to help him. The lads fought on the 28th. We all kind of pushed each other on, inspiring in runs. You know, because it's very easy to just take the foot off the accelerator when you're tired. But then, like, when the lads are there with you and pushing you on, even though they don't have fights coming up, you know, it gives you that extra boost and you push harder. So we have a great team in the gym, and training locally is easy due to that.
Yeah. So where did it all start for you? Because obviously you came over from Moldova originally.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? And why Ireland?
You know what? Weirdly, I landed in Ireland. I remember the day, January 12th. It was a Friday. So it was like I was in school over there, and then I left, and then I came back, and I was thinking at the time, I was like, listen, a month off, you know, acclimatize myself to Ireland, see what's what. But like 3-4 days later, Mum was like, right, you're in school. And I was like, holy shit. It's like, I didn't know a word of English, didn't know anyone, didn't know anything. I was in the deep end of the pool, and I didn't even have life jacket or anything on me, you know. And a few days later, like, my dad saw it was like that I was coming home doing nothing and going back to school in that kind of routine, which wasn't great for me. I was a kid. So he kind of pushed me. He was like, listen, we're going to need to get you doing some sort of sports, make friends, at the same time, try to learn English, you know, because it's all new to me. And I loved football at the time. And that's what I did. We went to Park Celtic, a club locally to where I was living at the time. And I give it my everything. Like, as with anything that I do, I try to push as much as I can, and I do myself better every single day. And like a year and a half into it or something, it came to awards night. And now, me looking back, I probably was a shit footballer, you know, but I was giving it so much that, and I didn't get any reward for it. I didn't get any medals or anything. And at the time, everyone was getting them. I was like, for fuck's sake. It was a kind of a low blow for me. And then that night was when I left football, pursued my football career. I went to my dad. I was like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, why don't you do, my brother at the time was doing Thai boxing. I was like, why don't you do that? And I was like, listen, I'll give it a go. And I did. I did it for 3 years and a bit. And I loved it. You know, my coach was a Moldovan lad, really dedicated to what he was doing, something similar to Steve, but in Thai boxing. And he was an active fighter at the time as well. And I was really looking up to him. And then he left. He went back to Moldova to pursue his career there. And then I was left without a coach, left without anything to do. And then one of the lads in the gym was like, Vic, he was doing Thai boxing and boxing at the same time. And he said, like, why don't you come boxing me? And I was like, at the time, I was like, nah, I was like, it's not really for me. And he was like, no, but you're throwing a lot more punches than you are throwing kicks. Because at the time, I flurries like 4 or 5 punches and rarely I throw a kick. So I was like, well, listen, I'm not doing anything. I'll try. I'll give it a go. And the first session that I went and I trained with my ex-coach, Mick Dowling, a well-renowned amateur boxer in Ireland. I loved it. I honestly, I fell in love with this. I was like, this is how I've missed out on all of this. And it was going back to square one. Your stance is different, your punching is different, your head movement is different. Everything was just so fascinating to me. And yeah, so that's how I got into boxing. And then I was an amateur for a couple of years, winning Dublin's, Leinster's, got to the national finals a couple of times. But I've never found, at the time in my teens, friends were there, girlfriends, cars, this. There's so much distraction that I didn't really give it a proper go. And then after that, I pursued a kind of a fitness career as a coach, a boxing fitness coach. Did that for a year. Saw that it wasn't, again, it was, I enjoyed it and I still do it now, but I was missing out. I missed boxing. I needed to do it. And that's how I got in contact with Steve. I messaged one of my friends that knew Steve. Then he was like, come into the gym. He sat me down. It was literally a job interview. He was like, what do you want to do? What's your plan? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What time have you got? What availability do you have for training and stuff? And I was like, holy shit. It's like, no one really asked me this before. And I told him, like, listen, I want to fight. That's what I want to do. And he goes, do you want to be amateur? Do you want to be professional? And I was like, well, I'll fight anything. Like at the moment, I was thinking, like, go the amateur route. And after a few weeks of us training together, it's like, Vic, you'll suit the pros down to like a T. It's you need to be a professional boxer. And he put me in contact with some people, and here we are. I'm nearly 5 years with Steve, and we're 10 fights in, 10 wins, no losses. I'm going strong.
That's the way to go, mate, isn't it? That's the way to go.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think you picked up the Celtic title as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So I won my Celtic title in my 5th fight against Carl Kelly, and then I defended it against Jake Haney 2 fights later in 2019. 2 great fights.
So is that something that is it something you keep, that you go along with until you literally say sort of drop the belt, or, you know, how's it work?
There's actually a really funny story behind this. So Celtic belt is like a regional belt in Ireland. So there's the Celtic belt and there's the national belt. Celtic is 8 rounds, the national is 10 rounds. And I won that. I defended it. And then I think it's like, I have 2 of them at home now. So they're still with me. But I'm not the current BUI Celtic champion of Ireland, purely because I fell out with the Boxing Union of Ireland. We had a little misunderstanding between each other, and they stripped me off the title because I was pursuing a career in the States, and I was going to get a license in the States because I'm starting to start boxing. So it was a lot. It's a lot easier for me to fight under a American license, a New York State Athletic Board Commission license, rather than a BUI Celtic license, because every time there's any fights, they don't have to get onto the BUI, then they have to send stuff out to them. So it's just, instead of cutting out the middleman, and they took that the wrong way. And before I know it, here I am, stripped of my title.
So you pissed everyone off.
Well, not everyone, just one person. But listen, it is what it is. If anyone, I'm still here to fight. I'm still in Ireland. I'll fight anyone.
So why did you choose, you know, to go with, you know, the States?
Well, it's a great opportunity for me. I think at the moment, the boxing scene in the States is not as strong as it is in the UK and Europe, and it's a quicker path, not taking any shortcuts. But I can get a lot more out of them than I would be in here, if that makes sense. There's just, at my weight, there's a lot of top quality operators, and it's a little bit harder to make the fights happen. Whereas the States, I'm signed with a promoter from the States. So for me, like for any boxer's dream, is a promoter that will say, listen, you're fighting on that date, this is what you're going to get, this is who you're fighting, train. And then they pay all your stuff. That's ideally for me, you know? So I was happy with that. But again, this poxy pandemic put a bit of a stop to all of fights in the States. So I'm fighting here. But listen, when things kind of calm down a little bit, we'll be over there for massive, massive fights.
Yeah. So, you know, like you were saying earlier, there's you know, you're in quite a division at the moment, aren't you? And there's a lot of people coming through at the moment. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to have a fight with? I know you say you're up for a fight with anyone, but is there anyone in particular, names that you can chuck out there that you'd want to get in and have a fight with?
Well, listen, at the moment, I'm looking at the domestic scene. I've already fought, what was it, 3 Irish lads. I'm very disappointed to know that Rabei is fighting on May 1st. Their team got in contact with us only a couple of weeks ago, and that fight looked like it was going to happen. Now they're the ones that initiated it. They asked me to if I was going to be ready for that fight. I said yes. They gave me a shitty deal. I said don't worry about it. It's like I'll still fight. They said May 1st, which only gave me 6 weeks notice. I said fuck it, I don't care, I'll fight. And then at the end they're like, oh no, we're pursuing other kind of routes or other plans for fights and stuff. So that kind of frustrated me a little bit because, again, at the moment, there's a lack of high quality fights. You know, there's only at the very top level there's great fights, but that's because there's a lot of money behind it. But here, like the lads in the gym and many of the people around Europe, they're paying for fights. You know, it's going to be a great fight. And something similar happened with Gary Cully a couple of months ago. They got in contact with us being like, would I be interested in the fight? I said yes. They said dates, kind of all the plans, blah, blah, blah. Then we're like, yeah, we're up for it. Then they went quiet. Then we contacted them again. And then, long story short, they said, we're looking at other things. Again, their reason for it was fairly decent. They said, listen, there's no crowds. We can't be affording to pay you that much, him that much. And it just doesn't make sense without crowds, which is fair enough. And but the thing with Ray, I was willing to take a massive pay cut for this fight, and again, it ended up fight me would have cost him nothing. Whereas the lad, whoever he's fighting now, a lad that's 3-0, he still has to pay the man 3-4 grand, whatever it is that they're paying him, you know, because that's the only way to get fights at the moment. So it's frustrating. I don't know. I'll be fighting fit in first week of March of May. So any matchroom show, I'll be very vocal about it. Any MTK shows, anything that's out there, I want to fight. It's at the end of the day, we can beat around the bush and say this and say that, but it's like I said to you before, it's training is a lot easier when you have a fight coming up and when you know who you're fighting. You know, at the moment, I got a little surge of motivation because all the boys in the gym are getting some fights, but they're a tiny bit behind me. They're at 4 or 5-0, whereas I'm already at 10-0. I can't keep fighting at those quality level lads. I need to really step up and, you know, mark my name, let everyone know what's what. And I can't do that fighting. I can't be well, first of all, I can't afford it. You're paying for your training camps. I'm very, very, very fortunate to have a great sponsor on board that's throwing money at me, even for fights, even for this. Which is rare at the moment, obviously, because no one wants to invest any money into anyone. But McElhaney Homes, they've been with me now nearly half a year, and they're as enthusiastic as I am about it. They want me in big fights. They want me to really, really show my potential, and you only do that against high quality operators. You know, it's it's not very hard, but it's a little bit tougher to show what you really got against lads that don't want to fight, that come in for a paycheck and they keep their hands up and they don't really throw anything. They might take a knee in a couple of rounds, you know. Like, again, Ray's fight on the 20th, I think it was a ridiculous fight. I'm sure he paid money and I'm sure he's pissed off about it, but he took the lad out in a round, and that's absolutely no use to him. And I'm sure that's the reason why they didn't take the fight, is because maybe potentially the ring rust. But you know, I'm training, I'm sparring at the moment. I'm in great form. So the more I get, I just get more and more confident. The more rounds I get, the more pads I get with Steve. But it's like a bubble. We're here. We need a fight before it bursts, and it's no good, you know. So for anyone that wants to fight,
don't point at me.
Let's point at watching.
Mate,
go.
Mate, I tell you, I've had one white collar fight. I ain't going to be anything close to what you want.
Listen, I think we're all in the same. Everyone that really wants it and everyone that's putting the work in the gym, it's fucking hard. You know, and even fight news or even the idea of fighting someone just makes everything worth it, makes everything a lot easier. It's pushing yourself, you know. You're in the gym put every day, and Steve is there screaming in your ear because he sees the goal, he sees where you once used to be. But some days you're lacking motivation and you're tired and you don't want to do it. But when you have a fight, none of these thoughts even cross your mind, you know. It's all full throttle ahead.
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned it, Vic, because this is a side that a lot of people don't see to boxing, because they always see, you know, people that are training hard, they've got the fight there and all the rest of it, but they don't see it when a fighter hasn't got that fight coming up, that, you know, how important those guys at the gym are, how important your coach is, you know, having the, you know, the backing and stuff like this, because it's so important, isn't it?
Listen, at the end of the day, for me, it's work, you know, and if there's no potential in the future for what I do, then I'll move in jobs. I'm going to find something. I need to stay motivated. I need to, like, I want to have a good future. You know, boxing is my aim at the moment, and I'm sure that it's going to happen. But at the same time, I want to be happy. And, you know, and if you're training nonstop with no fights and no nothing, that's not making me happy. You know, so I need to look for happiness elsewhere. But yeah, listen, it's good. I'm very, very, very fortunate in the position that I am at the moment. I have a promoter we all are waiting for the pandemic to end, because the second it does, we'll all be making money, we'll all be happy, we'll all be fighting, we'll all be where we belong, you know. So, but for lads that are training on their own, that maybe not have fights, and just think about it this way, right? It's, let's say you're working a 9 to 5 in a job that you're not saying that I'm not fond of what I do. I love what I do, but some of the sessions, your track sessions, the really, really horrible stuff, I hate them. You know, I'm not going to put any sugar on it. It's fucking horrible. I hate track sessions. I hate a lot of things. But it's like going to work 9 to 5 and not having a holiday at the end of it, not knowing that you're going to get a gaff or a house or a car or a nice car or something to look forward to, which will make everything that you do a lot easier, because you're like, oh, I'm working hard because I'm going to get a car in a couple of months, or I'm working hard because I'm going to go away during the summer. You know, if you take all that out, you're just going to get depressed. And it's the exact same with boxing, you know, where any professional sport, once you're putting so much effort into it and going in day out with your weight, with your food, with your training itself, recovery, it's a 24/7 job. It's not 9 to 5. You can't switch off. And if you don't have a fight, then what's the whole point of it? You know, there's no, why am I doing it?
Well, Vic, I really hope it comes soon, mate, because you can feel your passion, mate, and you can feel the dedication you've got for it. You know,
I'm not gonna let go. It's coming.
Well, mate, hopefully we're going to hear some news soon, because you deserve it, mate. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how your career turns out. And hopefully, as I say, you can start getting those fights in the door, and hopefully we'll see you on a Matchroom show soon. It'd be cool to have you over here.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come. It's just patience, you know. A lot of people kind of they get this close, and they're like, "Fuck it," and they back out. But I won't. I'll give it everything until my hair turns grey, and then if it doesn't, I'll be like, "Listen, I gave it everything. It didn't happen. Let's move on to something else." I'm still very young, you know, and a boxing career, you know, 35, 36. I want to be finished at 35. That's it. I want to have no more fights after 35. I want to be very successful. I want to be rich. I want to have Steve with me. I want to have all the lads around me, all of us in the same buzz, you know, enjoying life and knowing that we did it. And we went through wars, and the legacy will live on. So it's all going to come. We're not stopping. Training is not going to, I'm going to moan sometimes to Steve that I don't want to do this, that I don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, we still get it done.
Yeah. I can imagine I'm going to get loads of moaning messages now until something gets sorted. So please, someone give him a fight.
Anything, anyone. Let's go.
But no, honestly, Vic, thanks for coming on, mate. I really appreciate your time, and yeah, I just wish you all the best, mate. And you let me know. I want a message as soon as you get that fight.
You'll be the first person to know when I have a fight announcement. I'll shoot you a message, then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And we'll definitely get you back on again, and you can, yeah, talk as much trash about your opponent as possible, and then let's see how it goes, mate. Let's see how it goes.
Let's go. It's all a fun. It's all entertainment business, you know. There's no point of. We need to make money, and the more people tune in, the more money you make. So
definitely,
let's do it.
Definitely. And just to let you know, I am 35 this year, and I've got no money. And you know, so if you do start making money, let me know, and I'll you know, just give.
We can work 100%.
All right then, mate. Well, thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Take care, Vic.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Well,
go on. Enjoy that. Oh, hang on.